everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have my little crew with me here. Malcolm just woke up from his nap, so he decided to hang out on the couch even though he's not done sleeping. Maya woke up from her nap because she decided not to finish it, so I got my little crew with me until my husband is done washing the car to come out and, take his children. What's up, Papa? Just gonna push mommy? Okay. So, as you can see from the title, you can basically see what I'm gonna be talking about. And, this is just basically like a life lesson to me. And it's not that, you can't trust anybody but your family, because even sometimes you can't even trust your own family. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you the story of how my best friend literally you farted. How my best friend literally just, walked out of my life. So basically, Maya, baby, stop looking at the light. So basically, I knew her when I was 18. I met her when I was 18. Okay, so this is not gonna happen. You want a sippy cup? Oh, Bobby? Bobby? You mad at mommy? Oh, yeah? Okay, let's get your sippy. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. You gotta say hi to everyone. So basically, this is how that happened. I met her, we're gonna call her Kay. I met Kay when I was 18. Basically, we met at our first job, which is at Target, making our little $8 an hour change and whatever. And then come to find out, we bumped into each other at the same college. So I went to Miami-Dade. I love Miami-Dade. So we bumped into each other at the same college, and then we're like, hey, I saw you at work, blah blah, and we became friends from there. We literally was doing everything together. I would see her at work. We were both working in the same section, and then eventually, she went off to another section. But we would always see each other. We would always go out. We would always go to the beach. Like, this girl, I can literally say was like a really, really close friend to me. I don't use the word best friend loosely because if you're like really, really close to me, I call you my sister. I don't use that term best friend because it's like, I feel like it's a jinx word. You use the word best friend and next thing you know, they're not friends no more, and it's all whatever. I never claimed anybody to be my best friend, but for some reason they're always claiming me, oh, this is my best friend. I call you my sister when we're really, really close. That's just me. So anywho, we were like, you could basically say inseparable. And when we were going to school, I was, in school for nursing, and she was in school for child education, with the little kids. She loved children, which is like something awesome. So she had a boyfriend around that time. I didn't. And around that time, her and her boyfriend were like going through it or whatever. And basically, he actually finished his 2 years in the community college, and he was going to a university or whatever, so he decided to go to Valencia College in Orlando. And she wasn't done with her prerequisites down here, so she decided she wanted to go follow him to Orlando. I told her don't do it. I was like, just finish what you have to do here, and you guys can do this long distance thing. You don't have to go to Orlando and follow him, but finish, make sure you have your degree, and then worry about that after. Like, if y'all relationship is meant to be, it shouldn't be any problem with you guys, having this long distance. Damn, mommy's story boring. So I'm like, finish your degree. But she didn't listen. She said that she's gonna take her credits over to Valencia, and she wants to be with him and blah 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 whatever. So she goes over there. They break up. So she decided not to come back to Miami. She's like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I have to do while I'm over here. So she, got a roommate, and she decided I'm gonna try to make it out here. So she ended up being over there, working like 3 jobs. You know, we're still in communication. You know, I'm over here telling her like, girl, you got this, blah, blah, blah. You know, around that time, you know, I was done with my associates, you know, graduated. You know, I started working as a nurse while, you know, she's over there. You know, at the same time I'm working as a nurse. You know, I stayed at home, like, the hell? It's not like my parents were kicking me out. I stayed at home and I saved my money. So she was over there, you know, working her 3 jobs and all that. And one night I got a phone call. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I got a phone call and it was from her. And she was basically like crying on the phone saying that, you know, life is hard. You know, she was actually at a bus stop at 3 in the morning about to go to work, and it was raining, and, you know, she was just crying, telling me like, you know, it's not fair that she's struggling so much. She worked so hard. Nothing's working out like how she planned. So, you know, I'm being that good friend. And I basically told her, I was like, you should come back to Miami. Come back here where you know everybody. You can easily network, you know, in Miami versus Orlando. It's so much easier to network. You know everybody. You have a place, you know, if you don't have a place to stay, you can stay with me. So, like I was saying, lady. So, anyhow, this is something that, you know, Haitians don't do. They basically invite people to come stay at their house and, you know, sleep over or whatever, because they feel like everybody has malicious ways and everyone's gonna do voodoo, everyone's gonna take their stuff and like send it to their country and, you know, try to basically rob you of whatever you have. You know, me, I'm being the kind-hearted person that I am. I was like, oh girl, you can stay with me, you know, help you get on your feet, you know, just give my parents a little something here and there just for having you, but you'll definitely have a bed, you'll have a hot shower, you know, you'll have Wi-Fi for school, you know, you can come and go as you please or whatever. So, you know, I'm over here inviting her over as it's my house. And I was like, you know, let me go ask my mom. So I went and I asked my mom. My mom, you know, like her. She's a sweet girl. And, you know, she wanted to help her. You know, I basically told her what happened. And, you know, she was like, yeah, she can stay for as long as she wants. And blah, 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 whatever. So, you know, they ended up giving her the guest room. So she came back down. You know, we got her all settled. She had all her stuff. And, you know, she was there going to work, getting up. And I think it started getting weird. I would say like 2 months with her staying there around that time. You know, I finally got a boyfriend, which was my husband around that time. We went, he helped me get my first brand new car, which was around that time a 2017 Lexus NX 200T. Yeah, so I ended up getting my first new car, you know, right off the lot. I think it only had like 26 miles on it. So, you know, I went and got the car. I came home with the car. She saw it. You know, I told her I was going to go get it. She saw it and she was like, oh my God, this is your car. I'm so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. You know, I was like, I'm over here thinking it's nothing. So I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, I worked hard and blah, 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 whatever. But my mom always tell me like, you know, just watch out for some of your friends. You know, they might get jealous because, you know, you're doing a lot better than them and all that. So, you know, I didn't think that of her. So I was like, whatever. So, you know, we'll go out, you know, we'll ride in the Lexus together. You know, she's my right-hand man and we'll go out. And I also had another friend named M. And she would always, you know, tell me to basically look out for myself when it comes to her. And, you know, basically saying the same thing, that, you know, people aren't always going to be happy for you and blah, blah, blah. Can you get your children?
Children?
Your children. What?
Oh, because of story time, I got to get the kids?
Yes, because they're touching me.
Okay, well, they're kids. They're supposed to listen to stories.
She's keep yawning like she's bored.
So it must be a boring story.
Take your children.
Hold on, I got your children.
Whatever. Anywho, so we got the car, and you know, we're driving around, we're having a good time, we're going to South Beach, you know, like how we always used to, but this time, you know, my sister living with me, like, it's awesome, you know. So yeah, so now we had, ooh, what you doing, girl? So now we basically had a fashion show that was coming up, and around that time, you know, your girl was modeling. Hey, I may see it. Your girl was modeling. So I had like a little fashion show happening. And, you know, I basically was like, hey, you know, selling tickets and whatever. And, you know, she was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to come, you know, whatever. And around that time, you know, it was like her birthday weekend. And she wanted to do something on South Beach. So I told her, you know, after the fashion show, you know, you should come to the fashion show. And after that, we can go party on South Beach. So she said, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy a ticket. So she bought a ticket. You know, of course, my boyfriend around that time, which is my husband, he bought a ticket. Him bought a ticket. And then I had like another coworker named Linda around that time. She bought a ticket and she said she was coming. She said she was working. When she got off work, she'll come. So, you know, fashion show happening. You know, she never showed up. After the fashion show, they had like, you know, their little photo thing where they can like take pictures and whatever. So, you know, my husband was there, Em was there, and, you know, Linda, I didn't see her, but she came like a little bit later, and she, you know, she apologized. She was like, oh my God, I worked around so late and I got lost and blah, blah. But you know what? I paid my money and I came anyway. So I'm like, you know what? I appreciate the fact that, you know, you went out of your way and came, but Kay was not there. So, you know, I'm over here texting her like, hey, girl, what happened? Like, where you at? You know, I thought you said you were coming. I look on Instagram. That one was already on South Beach, having a good old time with, you know, whoever her friends were around that time. So I was like, oh, you know, the least you could have did was just tell me that she wasn't coming. So then she texted me. She was like, oh, I came and I saw the show was over, so I left. So I'm like, that's weird, because, you know, after fashion shows, they usually have like different little things and pop-up shops there. So it's like, you already done paid like $40. You might as well just come, you know, see what they got, you know, what they got going on, versus just wasting your money and just not coming, period. And she didn't respond, so she went out partying, whatever. So, you know, she stayed out for X amount of hours, and I already told her, like, if you're gonna stay out, let my parents know that you're gonna come home late, because first of all, this is not your home, one, and you gotta respect my parents' roof. And I'm the same way. Like, yeah, I was like, what, 26 around that time? And, well, 26? No, I was 25. And, you know, I'm staying at my mom's house. But it's like, I let her know, because, you know, it takes your parents. You gotta let them know when you're going out and stuff, because they will sit there in the dark and wait for you. So embarrassing. So, anywho, she went out, came out, whatever time she came. Even around that time in the middle of the night, my mom came in my room, you know, the usual creeping, hey, where's Kay? And I'm just like, I don't know, she's out, I don't know, she didn't tell me where she was going or whatever. So, you know, she eventually came, and that afternoon when she woke up, I basically told her, like, yeah, we need to have a little talk, because I already told you already the rules of the house. Yeah, I understand it was your birthday or whatever, but, you know, like, my parents feel like they're responsible for you because you're living under their roof. So it's like, if something were to happen to you on the street, they would feel like they're responsible for you. So you have to, like, hey, if you're gonna be late, let them know you're gonna come home late. But the fact that you didn't do that, and the fact that we didn't know where you were, if something were to happen to you, we would feel like we're responsible for you. So me having this adult talk with her, I guess she did not appreciate the fact that I had this adult one-on-one talk with her. And it's not like I was treating her as a child or anything, because I'm basically letting her know, like, hey, this is the same rule that I'm under. Like, I'm not telling you, like, you know, get out or nothing, but this is the rule that we have to follow, because this isn't like our own place. You know, we don't have our own place. So, yeah. And I also, like, brought up the whole fashion show thing, like, you know, why didn't you show up? And if you wasn't gonna come, you should have just told me. You should have never bought a ticket if that's the case. You know, but she tried to, like, just brush that off. So I was like, no, whatever. Anywho, whatever. So, yeah, that was that. I thought I was like, you know, okay, we're done having this talk, we're good. Apparently not. She wasn't, like, happy about it. I didn't know this. So one day I went to work, around that same week, I went to work, and basically my sister was home around that time. I think she was like 7 or 8 or 9, one of them. Yeah, she was home, and my parents were home. So when I got home, my sister basically told me, like, oh, Kate is gone. And I was like, oh, where'd she go? She's gone. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, she took all her stuff and she left. And I was like, she left? Yeah, she took all her things and she left. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went in the room, in the guest room, and I went and looked, and I noticed, like, all her shit was gone. I was like, oh, okay. She never called me. She never texted me. or told me anything like, oh, I'm just gonna get up and just go. Like, she packed all her shit and literally left. After that talk that we had was the last talk, the whole time making it seem like we're all good or whatever. And, she left, and she left with the house key. So, I ended up telling my parents, like, hey, so-and-so packed up her shit and left. And they're like, oh, did y'all have a fight? I was like, no. I just told them the last conversation we had, and that was that. She just got up and just packed her shit and left. So now my parents were like, I knew something like this was gonna happen, because I've been watching you and observing what's going on. She is a little jealous of what you have going on. You guys started off in the same position, at 18, both working at Target, and she's still in that same position, just staggering and not really going far, but you're actually making the move that you told her that you were gonna make, and she got jealous. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't see it like that, because this whole time I'm over here focused on trying to get her to push forward and do what you gotta do. Like, I'm over here motivating her and pushing her, because I want to see great for all my friends, but I guess this is what she felt. So yeah, so my parents ended up changing all the locks in the house, because she left with the house key. I don't know for what, she could have left it behind. She left with the house key, so they changed all the locks. And I was still following her on Instagram, so I went on Instagram and I saw that, she was driving on the road. Looks like she was on 95 or something, or on the turnpike, and she ended up in Orlando again. So I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, that was the end of that. That was the last time I ever heard from her, last time I've ever seen her. And I'm gonna be 30 soon, and that was the last time I've ever seen her. Literally walked out of my life. And the thing about this that just bothers me is the fact that, we're both adults. If there was an issue, we could have talked about it. We've been friends for so long. And the fact that you literally felt like this is how you had to end our friendship without saying nothing, I would understand if we got to a fight, or we had some big issue that just couldn't be solved. Nothing. We were all good, and you literally just walked out of my life. And then, from then on, I just had issues, being close to people. I'll be close to you, but from 6 feet. I can't confide in you 100%. My best friend is my husband right now, and my god sister. So it's I used to think it was weird for people. I would see people just hang around with only their cousins. I always thought they were weird because damn, y'all can't find no other friends with y'all cousins. I see why. I'm one of those people right now that I will have no problem going out and hanging out with my cousins because of stuff like this. That was very shady, and the fact that you just packed up and left. I don't know what you left with. I don't know, what you did. So I'm starting to have these whole weird superstitious feelings these Haitians have, oh, you can't just invite anybody at your house because you don't know what they do. And I'm over here till this day, I'm over here did she leave any of my stuff? Did she did she? It's one of those. So yeah, so that was my little story time. And till this day, I think about her. I really wish for her to be successful in life. I don't really know what she got going on, and I really hope that she did get that education license. She did open up that little school that she wanted to, but I wouldn't know. The last time I looked on her Instagram, she looked like she was a model girl, but that's none of my business. Still wish her the best. But yeah, thank you for watching and listening to my little story time. Don't forget to subscribe. I have more story time in the future. Yeah.